Brunata is a Danish clean tech company. It's a family-owned business focusing on measuring water and heat consumption. It's a business which is embarking on a strong internationalization path, and it's also a business which is changing its family business governance model. I'm pleased today to be joined by Fischer Hansen from the family behind Brunata, and Mr. Michael Staal, who is the external CEO of Brunata today. Michael, as the first external CEO in Brunata, how would you actually characterize your role in the family business?
My role is to manage the company in a transition, in a safe transition into a very interesting future, a future with aggressive growth opportunities, and a future with a new governance structure in the company. So you can say maybe my most important role, that is to develop and implement a new management system which fits to this new governance model and fits to the market opportunities that we face.
So Eva, let me turn to you now. The organizational model of Brunata company has changed recently. It's gone from your father running and managing and owning the company through a succession to now to be a second generation family business. Can you explain us these organizational changes?
I had some issues by working in a sales company. I said, so there was some cooperation issues about how we work together. And also that when my other siblings was working there, it was often that when we were trying to develop the company and we were trying to come with new ideas, it could be hard to deal with them, because it was often like criticism instead of constructive way of working. Because it often is like that when you're siblings. You doesn't hear what's saying. There's a lot of feeling in how you receive the words, instead of being more professional about developing. And when we came to a certain stage, we could see that we needed some other competences and maybe also some people not being a part of the family to deal with these issues in a more professional way. So about 2.5 years ago, we decided to open the box, see the world outside, and we were quite aligned about what demands we would give that CEO, if we can say them that way. He had to together with us build the company stronger, but most importantly, the CEO had to have the courage to challenge us siblings to see if we were in the right positions, and also advise us where else to be if we shouldn't be where we were. That was one of the biggest issues that we needed to have that person to do at that moment.
You have explained us that the organizational changes you have been through in the family the last couple of years. What are your advice to other family businesses in the same situation, going from the first founder-run firm to the second generation?
Basically, the very, very important is that you can't change a family-driven company into a more professional company, or making this generational shift if the owner is not ready to do it. But most important in this process we have gone through is to have highly respect for the founder, and in this case it's my father. So that everything that we do, he is a part of. For us to having the respect of what he have been doing, and also paying very highly attention to him about we know what your concern is about all this new thing happening, and we will take care of it in the best way. It made him, after a while, relax about. He didn't have to come to all the meetings. He didn't have to be in Brunata every day. to see that we were carrying it on the company on in the right way, in the same value that he put into the company when he took it over.
Michael, as a first external manager in Brunata, what advices can you give about the key factors for an external manager to match into a family business?
Well, there are several, I would say, but I would also be careful not to make it a mystery to be a CEO in a family-owned company. But you have definitely to be aware of a few things. Many family companies, they have a cause, and they have a strong devotion to a cause, which you have to understand and you have to respect. In the case of Brunata, the cause is to provide fair cost allocation on heat, water, and other supplies. And the family has a very strong belief in the meaningfulness of providing this service to the customers, and actually you can say to the society. And our profit in the company is a result of actually providing this service and pursuing this cause that the founders think very strongly about. You have to respect that. You cannot just drive for profit or just drive for growth in such a company. You have to take care of the basic mission that this company has.
Michael, let me end with a little provocative question for you. You are the external management, but in your management team we have 2 family members today. The chairman of the board is still the founder of the firm, and the vice chairman of the board is Eva. How do you get respect for the employees?
That's a very good question, and the employees asked myself and the family this question a little more than half a year later than I started. I was able to introduce to the employees a new management team. We did some changes in top management, and at this introduction meeting we confronted all the employees, and we had a panel discussion where the employees could openly ask questions. And there were more questions that we could handle at that time, but there were some questions that came close, but there were afterwards handed in writing questions which were very direct. Does he at all have any power or role or whatever? And actually what we did is we addressed it back in open meetings, and actually also in the intranet, that of course he has. Otherwise there wouldn't be any idea in providing a new CEO for the organization. And we could come up with some, say, words trying to explain why. But as in many other issues in this life here, you have to prove what you say. You cannot convince employees in a speech on such an issue. So what we did is that we during the next period worked on some changes that I introduced, and which was obvious for the employees, weren't coming directly from the family. And as an example I can give is that we have a good culture, but we also needed to add something to the culture. We needed to add preparedness for change, ability to change, looking at change not as a threat but as an opportunity for the individual employees. And we really had to move on change. That was something that I was the ambassador for. And in due time we showed the employees that we are definitely changing. They are changing. And I think they have taken that as the maybe most important indicator that the new CEO, he has a role, he has an impact.
So Eva, my final question for you would be, now you introduced an external CEO. If we look ahead, say 10 years, 20 years, maybe one generation, what do you think the future family role in Brunata will be?
The family, I think that in some kind of way the family will still be participating in the company in some way. I mean, I think that we will still continue our work by looking into how building Brunata stronger, how will we do when we are talking about the next generation. There will come 9 nephews and nieces during the next 10 years who will maybe have a wish of starting to come into the Brunata. So we have to prepare that as well. I think that our work the last 2.5 years, it's definitely not ended. And I think when we have our hands on this, we have to finish it as well, so we can make it easier for the next generation.
Eva and Michael, I would like to thank both of you very much today of joining us here at INSEAD Knowledge.